for you. Check this out, man. So I put up a post earlier today. Let me see who's on. Let me see if I can get some people on here. That's my people, man, and we can rock with it, man. We can rock with something over here. Let me see if I can get a couple cool people. Let me see if I can get a couple cool people on here. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's happening? What's going on? What's good, my people? What's good, man? What's happening? What's going on? So tonight's topic, man, we talking about how being 30 years old with no kids is not a flex if you a woman, man. So we're going to have some people chime in on here. We're going to have some people tap in with us. Hopefully, man, y'all can join the live, join the discussion in the comment section. Yeah, man, let's have this talk, man. I believe there's a lot of nuances and factors that people are not considering in this conversation, and we should be the ones to talk about it. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in for a second. If you got a moment before you go to bed and get ready for work tomorrow, man, or if you're watching this next day, tap in, man, and see what we talking about. What's up, Antoine? Let me see if I can get my people out here. Ooh. Oh my goodness, you didn't dropped on me already. Boy, you be ready, Latoya. You be ready, man. How's everybody doing tonight, though? Everybody doing good? Everybody cool? Let me pin. I'm gonna have to pin this. I'm not pinning no comments, because the more comments you pin, the more, if you only got one device, you're not able to see the full statements and questions and these type of things. So let's see what you're talking about. So, Latoya, since you already popped it off, let's start with. She said, I just posted, here you go. A woman at 30 with no kids is a flex, but once they reach 35, it isn't. And let me tell you why. The selfishness has kicked in. Man, you know what? Shout out to Latoya. You've been killing it lately. The selfishness kicked in. As a mother, the nurturing is lacking. Making a conscious decision to attain certain goal is amazing. But after that point, she becomes more an issue than an asset. Just my personal observation, because I've seen it. You know what? Let's break this down. A woman at 30 with no kids is a flex, but once they reach 35. So what's the difference between 30 and 35 when it comes to being a flex or it being something? Is there a fertility perspective? Is there a fertility issue that happens between 30 and 35? And after 35, I think you follow up, you say selfishness kicked in. So are you saying that women are more liable to be selfish after the age of 35 versus 30? Or are they more moldable? Are they more coachable? Or do they still have a sense of being able to be guided between that 5-year period? I don't know if I agree with it, but I'm just trying to get understanding. And as a mother, the nurturing is lacking. I think that's more so the point that I'm getting into, is that when you reach a certain age, it ain't even about you being able to reproduce or how you protected yourself. What's up, brother Cali West?
What it do,
How
boy?
or how you can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You can hear me? All right. Or it ain't really about how you preserved your womb. More so is it about you just having the state of mind of being independent, the masculinity that comes along with this, the stubbornness that come along with that, and also the non-cooperation that comes along with that. Not more so the fertility aspect, even though you're not in your prime when it comes to fertility, but you're more so a threat and you're more trouble than anything when it comes to you being cooperative or allowing somebody to guide you without you being reluctant because you've been doing things on your own for so long. And we are creatures of habit. That's what I'm saying. You got too many habits culminated with you being at the latter stage of your fertility where it's not really a flex. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a flex. I'm not saying that it's not better than most situations, but what I'm saying is it's not a flex. Like you can't be crapping on other women because you don't have no kids at your old age. You can't crap on other women because you didn't have kids at your old age. You're still old. You're still not 22. You're still not 24. You're still not in your youth like that. So you can't crap on it. It's not a flex. It's only a flex amongst people who have a scarcity mindset. Man, what's up, Callie? Go ahead and take the mic, man.
Chilling, brother. I
What's
was just
your
listening to
thoughts
you
on
preach,
this,
bro. I
man?
mean, hey, I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, let's just be real. I mean,
I
30
can't
might
even
not
hear
be.
you. I wonder if the audience can hear you.
That's crazy. You can't hear me now?
Audience, we need your help. We need a mic check right now. Can you guys hear Callie West?
Mic
And if
check,
you
mic
guys can
check.
hear Callie West, I guess I'm the problem. Victoria said she can.
Okay, that's good.
So let me see if I can come back on. See if I can
Can you hear me
follow.
now?
I can hear you better. Thank you, brother.
All right, bet, for sure. Nah, shit, I was just saying that I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, I'm not gonna say that 30 is necessarily like, she's not necessarily super old, but she kind of hit the wall, you know what I'm saying? She's not screaming chicken anymore. I mean, she might could possibly pop out a child, but we already know that any pregnancy past 32 is geriatric. And also, and I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't really want to say this yet because I wanted you to preach a little bit more, but when a woman is 30 years old and has no kids, it's not really a flex. The best thing to ask her is how many child terminations has she had?
How many pregnancies?
How many did she get rid of? You know what I'm saying?
Man, hey, that's crazy, Callie. Keep talking to us, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe sometimes you see a girl and like, okay, she's 30, she's so put together, but how can she be 30 and still be available on the market? I don't know any product that's on the market that just left available just because. Never. Yes, I did say geriatric.
That's interesting. Now I haven't seen any product that has been left on the market that has been used.
Right.
That has a whole lot of value. I mean, I can definitely do that. This is a concept that I think when I think of a woman's womb, I think of a woman's womb as a house,
Just
right?
about.
So, and any man that has dealt with that woman is a tenant. Tenants do what? They rent. Home
Right.
buy.
Right.
So if you 30 some years old and nobody bought your house, It's been on the market for 30 years, and no, let's say for the sake of being an adult, it's been on the market for 13 years.
15 years.
30 months.
15 years.
15,
We know they've been dealing with people since they're 15.
Nobody bought the house. And then, and if somebody did buy the house, they end up giving it up. What's wrong with the foundation of this home? Where men have gave it up, they didn't want it anymore, they bought it and gave it right back, or it was foreclosed, or whatever the hell happened to it.
Right.
And now you're sitting back on the market and people are still renting.
Right.
Man, that's crazy, Callie, man. So, you know, when we see this situation if you're a man out here and you're courting somebody and you're vetting somebody for a long-term commitment, you see a woman that's in her 30s and she has no kids, you shouldn't be ecstatic about that.
Right.
Because and she wasn't raised to be a wife. Now, if we in another country somewhere that hasn't been westernized or something like that, and this woman has just been bound to the righteous laws of her society, that's something totally different. But if you in a free society where it's sexually liberated and you reach this point, there's a higher chance than not that you have just manipulated the perception.
Right. Because, you know, we could even take that even further, too, because if she's in one of those non-Western countries, then that means that she should have already been married. She's not going to be on the market for even, like, a matter of fact, she'll probably be off the market even faster in a non-Western country.
What do the Chinese call those women?
Oh, I think, what, Christmas cake? Or you talk about Sheng Yu?
Like leftovers?
Yeah, Sheng Yu. I think that's Korean for leftover women. I think Chinese call them Chinese call leftover women Christmas cake.
That's sad. That's bad, bro. And but this is the problem. Like, you know, and we're not criticizing women and that are in this, because most women that are in this state, right? They have been tricked to be career driven. So in the Western world, when it comes to feminism or female liberation, is about women denying their natural biology and embracing the traditional roles that men play. So the neglect of their biology based on their pursuit of success puts them in a very awkward position where a lot of these women waking up in their mid-30s and they're trying to reverse the curse, but trying to reverse the curse is almost too late.
Right.
There's few females that can live a masculine lifestyle for over a decade and then turn it off and go into this submissive state. That takes a conscious effort, a whole bunch of therapy, and a new culture of femininity around you to even get to that point. Even then, you will still have the trait of it. You still have the experience of masculinity. And I just don't believe that once you experience that type of dominance and power, that it just forever, that the desire to have it forever goes away.
And I totally agree with that. I mean, you know, you got to understand, for a woman to be successful, especially like in corporate America or any place, she basically got to turn into a man. I mean, you know, I guess she could be a woman and play on the fact that she's a female, but she knows that more than likely she can get a little bit farther if she just try to pick up male traits like being aggressive and stuff like that. And
she has to be hard. She has to be cold. She has to be emotionless. She has to deny her nature in order to be successful.
Right. And one thing about nature, you can never shake it.
Woo! So there you go. Well, our boy DeRoy, we said nature over what? Nurture.
Right.
Hey, let's look into some of you guys' comments. Thank you, everybody that joined the conversation, man. We're gonna try to tap comments the best we can. This is not gonna be a long conversation tonight between me and the awesome Cali West, but you know, we're gonna address it. Maybe we can part two it or something. Maybe we can part two it or something, because I think this is a part two type of conversation. Hey, what's up, man, with it, man? Mr. Scott, what's going on? Ant Blow, what's up with it? Nathan, what's happening, big dog? Nathan said, don't they mature faster than us? You want to hit that real quick? We go to the next question.
Hey, well, okay, let's talk about maturity. Now, I would like to answer that. They mature physically before men, not mentally. Women are provided what they need at a very early age. Let's be real, man. I mean, we were all in junior high school. I know girls who had nice bodies at 12, 13 years old. Those girls ain't trying to give us no play. Those women decide to go date the high school, guys that are freshmen or the seniors or the guys out of school. So it's not that women mature faster than guys. Women just physically mature faster than guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking from a biology standpoint, like from a standpoint. Are they more primed for relationships before men?
Oh, we talk about mentality. No,
we're talking about biologically.
Biologically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a fact. Like for example, I don't know if you noticed this, but like in the 5th or 6th grade, did you notice that there was girls who were taller than the guys?
Yeah.
Right. That's because their growth spurt kicks in faster than the men do. I think women's growth spurts kick in like at 4th, 5th grade or something like that, 6th grade. But it's physical. And Latoya, I'd say women do not mature faster than men. If that was a statistical fact, okay, if it was a statistical fact that women mature faster than men, then women wouldn't be the #1 carriers of debt in the country. Okay? The school loan debt is held by 70% women. If women mature faster, women will make more money than men and would not have to take men to child support court. So let's just put that women mature mentally faster, to the rest. That's not true.
Okay, I think we got to put things in context. Okay, women are more. Women mature faster for their role of reproduction.
I don't know about all that, bro.
I believe, and this is why. This is why. A woman's value is determined on what? Her youth, her beauty, her fertility, and her cooperation. Right or wrong?
Actually, well, I would agree with you to a degree, because humans, as we are now, have been around for 50,000 years. We never needed a woman to be mentally mature. Men were marrying women.
I'm speaking on just what I said. A woman's value is determined on her youth, her beauty, her fertility, and her femininity. Right or wrong?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, okay.
So we can't disregard the youth part. When women are young, they are at their highest value when it comes to men. Traditionally, younger women have always been the catch of older men, right? A man's value is based on his ability to protect, to provide, and problem solve. Okay.
Well, where does the mentality of her being more mature comes into? Because that's why
I'm not addressing maturity yet.
Oh, but I thought what we were talking about. Your statement was women are more mentally mature than men.
I'm getting there.
Okay. No doubt.
Cali, be patient.
Okay, no doubt.
Okay, so a man's value is based on his ability to protect, provide, problem solve. Usually men don't hit their stride until they're in their late 30s and 40s, when all of these elements are collectively at their prime. A man's finances, a man's ability to make decisions, and his ability to protect, all at the height in his late 30s, early 40s. Women hit
Okay.
their prime in their 20s,
Okay.
right? Collectively, they hit their prime in their 20s. So I think a lot of people, and this is to your point, I think a lot of people misconstrue the mental maturity or the emotional maturity with being available for being available earlier for their role. Like women get in our 20s, the top notch women wanted older guys, so they was more primed, or not even top notch women, just women in general. They were more primed for their role because they didn't have to build value. They was born with their value. Their value started to decrease as they got older. We had to build our value in our 30s. So when they say, a lot of people misconstrue women being mature versus just being available quicker for their role.
Well, all right. Well, all right. Okay. But see, but that kind of goes back to my point about 50,000 years ago. Straight up down, the only reason why we ask that we want a girl to be feminine is because we can't kick her butt. We can't kick her ass and make her be feminine. You know, that's what they should do. You know, men used to force women to do what they wanted to do back then. Like, you know, only until recent history till they actually to still decide letting men not touch women that way. You know that, right?
Women were forced into submission, but they was also trained in their households to be feminine, because that was the only way they can win, because of the society was.
You know what? That's what we assume, right? But when you look out through history, here's the thing.
Unless you're talking about,
unless
you're talking about the barbarian, the Slavic Caucasus Mountain guy, yeah.
No, not that far. I'm just talking about recent history. I'm talking about, dude, as early as 1970, you were able to strike a woman and not go to jail for it. Do you know that?
Where are you talking about?
In America.
I don't know about.
I'm 43 years old, bruh. Dude, people never used to always go to jail for hitting on a woman, dude. Like, there are movies where men will come out, like when a girl would be hysterical, where men will come out of nowhere in black and white films and slap the woman for screaming in public.
But women still had a choice in the 70s when it came to who they procreated with.
This is my point. I don't want to go too far from my point. Well, my point is that women have always did what men wanted to because of societal pressure and from physical pressure of men.
Yeah.
So hold on. So I want to drive my point home. So my point is back to this woman being like mature. We need. I understand what you're trying to say, but I think we need to just. I think we need to just take it out the gray area and be very specific. Women mature physically first, because guess what? Their body, when they get a period, they're ready to have a child. That's what biology, Mother Nature, and God, or the Most High, says that she should have a child. I mean, I'm not telling anyone to get any little kids pregnant now. I mean, I believe in being within legal, but biological level, that is why they technically mature. Their bodies mature, not their minds. Because you don't really need their mind, because if he knows that he wants to provide for a family, he don't really need her to think. As long as she just does what he says, that's all that really matters.
That's really all we really need him for outside, honestly. At the end of the day, if you're dealing with a masculine man, he would just be sexy and cooperative. That's it. Like, you don't got to think.
Right. But see, that's the caveat. Now, when we get to the age of women being 30 years old, you got to take that into consideration. Let's just say, if we were to say, fine, they definitely mature physically faster. Oh, yeah, definitely, Leo. Let's just say, even if that was the case, if women was to mature faster, then guess what? You should not be. That's even more of a reason not to be 30 and still not have to have no man. Absolutely. And have no kids.
Absolutely. Because what I'm noticing, I'm going to go to the next question. We're not going to get locked in on this for too long. That's why I said we probably need a part 2. what I noticed is that even when women reach their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they still have the emotional. They're still on the same emotional level as someone that's 18, 19, 17. So let's go to the next question. Write that down, Callie, and we're gonna come back to that on a part 2 sometime, because this is a loaded conversation, big dog.
Oh, right. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna have all the questions. I'm gonna download this video after we're done. Shit.
Okay. And we're gonna wrap it. Mr. Scott said, if it's after 30, most men realize there's a flag and proceed with caution. I don't know if most men proceed with caution, because I think most men are unconscious. I think the masses are unconscious and they're very simpish. They don't know they're simps.
Right. Because I can even attest to me, yo. I was a former rehab simp, and I wouldn't really say I was ever really a simp, but I would say I was maybe more of a beta. I wouldn't say simp, more of a beta. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think, like, body count didn't matter, and if she had kids, it didn't matter, or she was over 30, it didn't matter. But when you end up but throughout my life, I ended up realizing this shit does matter. Everything matters.
Right, because it's all the decision that manifested.
Right.
Latoya says 30 means you graduated, you've attained your career, and it's time to pursue a family. So I give 5 years to do that. This is coming from an independent mindset. I'm doing it myself. I don't think a lot of women understand the after effects of being independent. And that's a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna give it to you at this point on this question. You can have it.
Oh, about what you just said?
Yeah.
All right, no doubt. Okay. Well, Latoya, you got to take in consideration that throughout history, certain things were not really required. I mean, but if you wanted to stay within the 20th century, at least, we could definitely go from the fact that at one point in time, marriage was important, because people, when they would get married, they didn't really, yes, people, most people, for people to get married, they had to get a dowry, or they had to get something from their parents to help start them up. So yes, so man, their age was not hooking up. Yeah, 14-year-old boys was not hooking up with 14-year-old girls. Generally, 14-year-old girl would hook up with a 30-year-old man or a 40-year-old man back in those days. But that was only because he was to give her or her parents a dowry, or he was supposed to take the young lady and provide for her, something that a 14-year-old boy wouldn't be able to do unless he was rich or set up.
Absolutely.
So throughout history, women as old as can conceive can always have kids. So yes, they women do mature physically. The only thing is, just like my boy Don Trey said, their minds, unfortunately, y'all never mature past the age of 15. Once y'all get that rack, and once y'all get the body, everything that God gave you to make a baby, at that point y'all know what men want from you, and at that point y'all don't have to mature, because everything that a man wants is already at your disposal.
Yeah, I think he was speaking from a 20th century modern woman standpoint when it comes to seeking your career first and then trying to after your career.
Yeah, time. One thing I could definitely say is time doesn't change that. Not really. I mean, not really. Not like it used to. 'Cause at one point in time, shoot, a 14-year-old girl might have got with a 18-year-old guy, like in the 1600s, but we're not going there.
My grandma was 14 when she had her first kid and when she got married. So, and that was just in 1930 something. So let's keep it real. What's up, Victoria? Mike Harris. The only difference is between then, the only reason why it's frowned upon now is not because of the biology, it's the psychology. 14-year-old girls are not ready for life like they was back then. They're not mentally ready to take on a family and responsibility. My grandmother was taking care of her sister. She was picking cotton, and she had a baby and a husband by the time she was 15 years old, because the society they lived in, she had to be an adult. She was forced to live an adult. Kids start farm at 6 and 7 years old.
Well, I also believe that the reason why I kind of believe that we kind of put it off a little older too, because, you know, life expectancy is a lot longer. You know, people didn't live as long back in the day. You know, when your grandma in the 30s, people didn't live that long even back then. So now, you know, people live to 70, 80 years old. You know, there's no point for a 14-year-old girl to go get married and have a family now,
Right.
because, you know, we live in a different type of technology. I mean, different world, and, you know, but at the same time, I must say, I don't know. I mean, I would not want my 14-year-old daughter to get married, but I would not want my 14-year-old daughter to end up being a single mother either at age 14. So I think if I had to pick the two, I mean, I don't know. It all depends, like, you know, because I do believe that, you know, if you're going to have kids, especially for a woman, if you're going to have kids, you should be in a marriage or be in some type of long-term commitment with somebody. And, you know, there's a lot of people who don't want their daughters dating older men,
That's
but,
crazy.
you know, but their daughters end up get with like the wrong older man and having a kid in this, or they end up getting knocked up by a dope boy or some knucklehead. Because let's just be real, women do talk to older men, but women talk to popular men, you know, jocks, you know, ball players, rappers, you know. It really all depends. Like, and that's the thing about that's the I guess the advantage of a woman has. A woman has the advantage of, okay, you know what? All these men want me. I can go date a young guy if he's hot enough, or if he has enough money. I can date an older guy if he's hot enough and got money.
Well, the prize is marriage. So ultimately, if a young man is courting my daughter, I don't want to, unless this man comes from a structured household where he's been raised to be a husband. I don't want to give her to any young dude, because not 9 times out of 10, guys in their 20s don't even understand who they are yet to even be married, right? Like I say, men don't reach their maturated stride until their late 30s and early 40s. And a woman is innocent in her 20s. So the maturity and the experience mixed in with the
Innocent?
I'm saying she's supposed to be primitive.
Oh, okay, because they're not.
She's in her innocence in her 20s. If she's been sheltered, if she's been put in a position where she her virginity's been protected, she don't have all the experiences and decades of trauma and failed relationships that somebody
Right.
have.
All
So
right,
that
I'm listening. I'm listening.
yeah, so what I'm saying is from a biological standpoint, it makes sense for someone that the less experience, for someone to be led, it would be a younger woman and an older guy, because it's less complicated at that point, versus a woman that has all this experience and a man with the experience. They're going to be butting heads. You see what I'm saying? Just
Well,
natural.
yeah, someone has to be the leader. Someone has to be in a dominating position. Well, I mean, I could definitely tell you this too. Like, at the same time, you know, that's a good. You brought up some good points, because I know you got a. I think you actually really have a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually from. You're actually speaking from the heart right now. So I mean, I think like whether, you know, my daughter was dating an older guy or a guy her age, he'll still have to be vetted. The only thing I'll just be a little concerned about is we live in the 21st century, and it's like, you know, our daughters could listen to us, but what if they choose not to?
Not gonna happen. My oldest daughter not gonna listen. She wasn't. I didn't. I was a kid when I had her, so she doesn't have a. She has a modern mindset. You understand what I'm saying? But what I am saying is, though, I would want her ideally to be in a situation where she's getting benefits, she's being taken care of, and she's dealing with somebody that understands what it is to be a man and is going to deal with her accordingly on a spiritual level and on a healthy level. Not some young man that's practicing on her, that's renting her house. Remember that analogy? That's renting
Right.
that's renting her house and leaving it messed up and giving it to another tenant and another tenant, and about time somebody decides to buy the house, they don't want to keep it because it's a nightmare.
You know, that's why I feel like it was important to almost even coach your children even before that time even happens. That way they can even have it imprinted in their head. Like they already know my dad's gonna be worried about this because, it's very important to be close to your kids too.
That's a whole
Because you want them to be able to come.
that's a whole nother topic too. Because
Yeah,
with
but to keep
TikTok,
it simple though, you definitely want to discuss it before you get to that part, right?
right.
Before the horse get out the before the horse get out before the horse get out the farmhouse. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. Victoria George said I can. She said we can hear you fine. Nathan said yes we can. Yes. We talking about when they couldn't hear me. Yamina said good evening. What's up, Miss Lawwow? She said yes. Yamina said how y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good. Yamina said, did he say geriatric? Yes, he did.
I said geriatric. Okay.
Geriatric pregnancy, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
What's up, Miss Banks? Victoria said, I had to see a doctor every 2 weeks because of my age, but the labor went very well. May I ask, how old are you, Victoria?
Hey, yo, shout out to Jay Knight, man. Shout out to Jay Knight. I don't know if you know Jay Knight. He good peoples.
Yamina said, you're correct, though. Very high risk after 35. Mr. Scott said, haunted house. Oh, my God, it is a haunted house after so many people been in and out of it. What's up, Miss Michelle? What's going on?
Probably mean it's a haunted house because of all of them terminations, you know what I'm saying, they had.
Yikes. That's sad.
Pet cemetery.
Latoya said, a woman in her 30s who is focused on her goals doesn't lower her standards and make man her priority. Oh, God, that just sounds so, just bad. I can't even finish. Believe a man is not a woman's key to fulfillment. Yikes. I mean, go ahead, man. If you want this,
I'll take that. I agree to disagree with that. I agree to disagree.
Oh,
now, even though a man is not necessarily, the truth is, it's up to the individual to make themselves happy.
Right.
Get a point down. It's not up to the man or up to the woman. But I'll definitely say, having a man could definitely facilitate your happiness in many ways. Like, for example, having the right man and getting married to the right man, or at least being in a long-term relationship with a good man, a righteous man. You could be in a long-term relationship with them and have children. And guess what? That children and you and that man, that's a blessing that man gave you. That man put a house over your head and provide and protect for you, because guess what? It's a dangerous world, as y'all seen, people are, broke down, and, people are robbing and stealing, and having a man around to protect you, in time of needs like this is very, very important, because, 911 is a joke.
Absolutely. She said a woman in her 30s is focused on her goals and doesn't lower her standard. Okay, let's do this. Standards are established. And expectations are like wishes, okay? There's a difference between standards and expectations. Your standard is what you get. Your expectations is what you want. And let's be honest, most women don't have standards. They have unrealistic expectations, right? Or they have expectations that haven't came into fruition yet. She said, contrary to popular belief, a man is not a woman's key of fulfillment. No, but the only reason women were created was for men. From a biological standpoint, from a nature standpoint, woman was to carry the seed of man. That's your number one goal. That is the highest level in life outside of your relationship with God, is to procreate, which is why we give women so much flack, because if you have a bunch of babies with men you don't respect, you committed the highest level of honor, which is to clone his DNA. You clone the DNA of somebody that you don't even respect and value, which says a lot about you and how you performed on this planet. Personal fulfillment starts with self-love and your relationship with the Most High, but the highest level you can go on this earth is having a bond with a man and cloning each other. Okay, let's be 100% real. Well, we ain't gonna get deep in that tonight. You're not going to.
Facts. Facts. And I'll say this much, and this to be the disclaimer. not that marriage is for everybody, you know, maybe it's not for necessarily everybody, but let's just say this much. It's definitely it's definitely a goal for women. But
Mm.
yo, let me ask a question. Yo, Dontre, can you see Jay Knight's comment?
We said legalize prostitution and watch what happens to Western relations. Legalize prostitution and watch what happens with. I mean, we live in a prostitution society already. I mean, prostitution is basically legal. Only
But
fan.
look at his most recent comment. He says women don't want standards. They see that as control.
Yeah, what women don't women don't want men as authority figures in the West. Women don't want men to have authority in their life. I mean, I can talk to you, Cali West, and we can do a whole segment on that.
Right.
Women do not respect men. Women want single benefits while they have marital ceremonial life, right?
With their partner, not even their husband, their partner.
Right. They want single benefits while being married, by being treated like a traditional woman.
Right.
That modern woman thing. They want to be able to show their cleavage. They want to be able to show they butt. They want to do the busted challenge, but then they also want somebody to bow on one knee and say, "You're my queen."
Right.
Why she has 3 and 4 kids that don't look nothing like him. She hasn't cloned him once. And even if she do decide to clone him, it's not that damn special because she didn't clone everybody else already. You know what?
Damn. Then Jay Knight says, facts, blessing come from God through the man, then to his wife. That is true. It is written.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go back up top and see if I catch it. He said it's too late, brothers. They hung themselves. You can't go against biology. Man, when she said, Latoya said women mature mentally faster, and it's a statistic fact. Hey, Latoya, go ahead and drop me those statistics, send it to me, and we will come back to that on the part 2.
All right.
I don't know when that part 2 is gonna be, but Yamina said it is conditioning from birth. The doll, kitchen, household products. I think she's talking about women, young girls are groomed. Their maternal instincts are groomed versus young boys, their masculinity being groomed in today. And I have to agree.
I disagree because man, you know what? And we could just go by, you know what? At the end of the day, I think we'll go by the statistics.
No. What you disagreeing with me with?
No, she said about women being mentally more mature.
No. That was 2 questions. Those 2 statements.
Oh, that was questions. I thought those were statements.
Women are mentally faster, and that's a statistic fact. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I want to see the statistics on that. And I'll just say this much. If women are mature faster, then why are they the ones who are the quickest ones to want the divorce?
Okay, and if women mature faster, why are they always getting tricked in dumb relationships? I don't get it. They're the number ones that always get tricked, behooved, manipulated. He brainwashed me. It's your brain. Why you let somebody else wash it? Why is their line? Why do they get that option to escape out of bad situations when they're so mentally mature? It's just not true.
Because accountability is their kryptonite.
Absolutely, they hate that. Yamina said it's all conditioning from birth. That's where I agree. The dolls, the kitchen, the households, young girls' maternal instincts are groomed more than boys. They're actually trying to make the boys more feminine than masculine. So we live in a day and age where they don't even want the boys to get tackled on the playground. So I have to agree. Society caters to the maternal instincts of young girls more than they do boys. But just because you're maturing for your role, does your biological role doesn't mean you're mature. Society is helping you mature in your mental and emotional role.
Right, because you know what? Because here's the thing: you can still breastfeed your kid and still be an irresponsible person.
Yeah, you can breastfeed. You can be a great nurturer. I know women that take care of dogs, a whole bunch of kids, the whole neighborhood, but can't fight their way emotionally out of a paper bag.
Right. They can't even, they can't get through life every other way.
Pro conflict resolution skills, but can take care of the bird, the dog, the kid, and all the kids in the neighborhood. They can help you patch up a boo boo. But once conflict happens, they just completely black out, and they
Right.
any emotional fortitude to withstand any type of wind that hits their home. It just
And
don't.
see, and that's the perk of having a man. Because when you have a man, he could be in charge of all that. And if
And
he messed up, you could just get mad at him.
by design,
It's-
we're able to handle that. Latoya said, "Not true. That's financially. I'm talking emotional. Women emotionally are not more mature than men. I mean, I don't know what planet you live on, and maybe you're just that exception to the rule. Maybe you're just that unicorn of a woman that has logic, that have more logic than most of these emotional men. But collectively, I'm telling you, coming from a former man whore, okay, a social a socialite, someone who had his share of experiences. Women collectively are not emotionally mature, even when they get older. I know 60-year-old women who still have that has the arrested emotional development of a fucking 12-year-old. This
it
society
happens.
does not promote you to be accountable for you to even face and attack your emotions collectively. There is a small group of women that are more logical than they are emotional, and these women are praised and put on a pedestal. I'm just being honest. Like,
Yeah. Few and far between. I haven't met any.
that is weird. Like, man, I don't think a man would know. Most men wouldn't even know what to do if they dealt with a logical woman, a woman that understood themselves and also the man that they was dealing with. That would be a weird day.
Hey, you know what? I think they come around, I guess, because what? You know why we wouldn't know what to think? Because they already wiped up. They wiped up and tucked away, bruh.
Hell yeah, if you not wifed up, then you probably not who you think you are. Um, and we don't gauge people based on engagements or past or broken marriages. We base people on their current state of their relationship status, and that's married.
I
Men,
judge past.
huh?
I judge people. I judge people's past.
I'm talking about divorces. I'm talking about a lot of women think that because they were married that puts them on a pedestal.
Now, that almost put some. I almost put, when a woman tells me she's divorced, that almost puts me to a red alert because at that point she already destroyed a marriage.
Right, you destroyed the family already. You got two. If you got an F on your report card, that's all I see it as.
I mean, I
Unless,
know there's exceptions to the rule, but
right?
the exceptions only prove the rule.
Now, if you a widow, that's something different,
Right.
right? Because your husband involuntarily left your life. But if you
Right.
had broke it up, man, you got to consider, damn, if she break this shit up with him, shit, I know she'll do it with me.
Right. Right. Oh, right. And look, and also it depends on how he died too. Like if his death was kind of shady, stay away from me.
Oh yeah, that's
'Cause
scary.
women get away with that quite often.
We're going to be
Shit.
talking about women in domestic violence next week on the Chris and Chris show. There was a woman that just stabbed her boyfriend to death over a microwave. They was fighting to see who was going to microwave the food. You remember that?
She was pregnant.
She was pregnant and killed her baby daddy over who's going to cook the food first. That lets you know how
After the baby shower.
they're emotionally children. My grandfather said this. He said, Dunny, a woman is the closest thing to a child that you can't call a child. And it took me a long time for me to get it because when he told me that, I was kind of mad at him. I thought he was stupid. But
You
then
was?
I became a man, I realized what he was saying. He couldn't articulate it like I do because he only had a third grade education. However,
Oh, okay.
what he
Oh,
was
okay.
saying was women make decisions based on how they feel. And the only thing that separates adults from children is their ability to make decisions based off of logic instead of emotion.
I agree.
Latoya said a woman has the capacity to be a mother at 14, and she will show up and do so. Look in history. Women were mothers at a young age while men still had to find themselves. That has to do with maternalness. That has to do with nurturing and taking care of something, not necessarily having life
Oh,
experience.
I thought we already discussed that, but I'll add to, I will piggyback off of you, bruh. Check this out. When women were being maturers and stuff like that, and guys were still trying to find their own way, there were wars and battles in those times, and those same young boys your age were going off to war and killing other men, and maybe even dying and not coming back.
That's true.
Remember that, ladies.
Leo said that's factual. They definitely mature faster. Jay Knight said logic and rules, not possibilities and feelings. Damn, that is so good. Jay Knight.
So, shout out to Jay Knight.
Yeah. Jay Knight said, so that means the mother needs to be more responsible, be a more responsible, mature teacher.
Right.
Just because you could take care, and this is my problem with single mother. I was raised by a single mother. A lot of single mothers, not all. And I hate, you know what? I shouldn't even have to say that, because we don't have time to address that not all theory. Okay? We speak based on the masses and the collective. We don't have time to identify exceptions to the rule.
Right. We speak in general.
Right. So collectively, single mothers don't raise their children. They just take care of them. Right. I was taken care of. I wasn't raised. My mom did not put me in a position to be around other men to be a man immediately after the age of 18. But she took care of me and then released me into the streets when I reached a certain age. To her, it was the same as stage. I wasn't in the right stage to take care of myself or even build a family, but she identified age with stage because she never raised anything a day in her life.
Well, most black people have the trend of, oh, you're 18 now, and you go on and get your own.
But she breastfed me. She gave, when I was a baby, she changed my diapers. She gave me food, but she did not raise me into a maturated creature.
Because she didn't have a plan.
I don't
care. They never have a plan.
Y'all are not, listen, ladies, y'all are not raising shit. Y'all can't even raise a dog to not shit on the floor.
All right.
Y'all ain't raising shit. Y'all don't have no obedience yourself. You don't have no discipline yourself. So if you don't have discipline, how you going to instill it in somebody else? Y'all lost. Your homes are broken. If somebody was to spiritually look at you and you were a house, you would look like an abandoned, torn down, cobweb, spider-ridden building.
Right.
Let's keep it real, man.
Sure.
The only problem is this. Ladies, we all, men and women, especially in the black community, we all messed up in our 20s. We all had to learn on the expense of other people. The difference between the men and the women is this, is that your time is up, ladies. Your beauty is gone, your fertility is gone, and your cooperation is gone. With the man, he's walking into the prime of his value while you walking out the prime of yours. So when we both catch up and we mentally catch up on understanding, your time is over and his time started.
Exactly.
It's not fair, but life ain't fair. It is what it is.
Right. At the end of the day, it's a women get a winning lottery ticket, okay? Depending on when they cash it and how they cash it, depends on how big of a winning they get.
They think they always have that lottery ticket. They think that they will always have the same value that they were in their 20s.
But you're going to cash it in once.
They can be 60, and they still think that they are the hot shit of when they was 25.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got aunties and stuff like that. I know how they are.
Some of y'all look better than others. Some of y'all was never the prettiest sister. Some of y'all was never the prettiest cousin. Some of y'all were never the prom queen. You wasn't the baddest of bad. And even the most beautiful women, as they get older, lose value. Y'all average. You got average hips, average ass, average hips, average everything. You look, to be honest, some of us men, if we put on a wig, we would facially be better bitches than y'all. But what we saying is this, is that whether you recognize your moment, it's just like being a rapper. If you don't make it as a rapper between the ages of 18 and 29 or 29, the chances of you being a rapper is over. What I'm telling you is, figuratively, your rap career is over. The window is gone. No matter how dope you are, nobody, collectively, people are not going to see you as an icon.
Right. Because guess what? You know what they're going to say? They're going to think they're the Jay-Z.
Y'all, you think it's gonna happen for you at 40 like that? You think you got the sauce like that? See, and the problem ain't that you can't get a guy. The problem is that you want a guy on a level that you don't even qualify for, or that you never qualified for.
Exactly. See, that's another thing too.
You can't
see women
never qualify.
Hey, it's funny that you bring that up, because when you talk to some of these chicks dated some of these rappers and some of these people, some of these girls like slept with these dudes. But what they don't understand is they can't separate sexuality and sex with somebody from being with somebody, in a relationship. They think it's the same. They think it's one and the same, and it's not.
Absolutely. Bro, we got so many messages. I'm going to try to run through this. We're going to give ourselves 17 minutes, y'all. So, look, if y'all got questions, stop it, because we're going to miss out. We not going to have enough time to address all of these messages at once. I promise y'all.
Let's try to read through some real quick. Jay Knight says, he says, because they're incentivized for their mistakes in America, which is true. Like, child support, Section 8 housing, WIC, food stamps. And then your Manina says she agrees. Jay Knight said if a woman are more emotional mature than men, why they can't take honesty or take reflection of their actions. Because we already know, Jay Knight, accountability is a woman's kryptonite. Yamina Thomas says, case in point, at the incident over the weekend at the Legion, all emotionally driven. Women in their 30s and 40s are fighting over their man or baby daddy hugging another woman. Just unnecessary.
Facts. And I'm glad you said that, Yamina. That is very interesting that you said that, because when you got a bunch of women around, man, I'm gonna tell you something. That is the most chaotic situation that you can ever imagine. Women literally get, man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Women get other men killed. I try to stay away from women, because women behind every woman is some emotional simp. All these brothers that be out here killing in these clubs, 9 times out of 10 is behind a woman.
Hey, think about it. Most people who are in jail, right? Whether you're a dope boy, you was robbing a bank, you was robbing somebody. Man, look, when it all comes down to it, you was trying to probably get money to show off for some woman, or someone was pestering you about money and saying, if you're a man, you better get this money. And guess what?
If you a man, you gonna let him talk to me like that? Oh, come on. And then you got these big ass, and then you got these women. See, women are crazy. They can be 5'7", 250 pounds and want to fight on a woman that's 5'1", 115.
Oh, of course.
You try
to know they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
You got to deal with a dude that might not even want to see you from the shoulders, right? That's what most of the deaths is happening in our community. It's either somebody hustling to try to impress a motherfucking woman, or a woman and got into some shit and he done pulled up and he has to defend himself or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or he fighting her motherfucking ass because she masculine.
Right. Yo, did you see that? I don't know if you seen that video that I did on YouTube, but I was talking about that, how the baby mama's new boyfriend shot up the baby daddy's house with the son in the house. Why? Because she was mad because he went to go pick up the kid without her permission.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. Just think about you break up with a chick. She tells the next nigga she's fucking with all the bad shit that you did to him or that you did to her. Y'all beefing on some other shit because of that. Or say she has baby daddies that
Right.
that are active in her life, and you get into it with these men because men naturally are territorial. It is dangerous to mess with a female.
Right.
Or she go and tell her brother or her dad or her whatever that this and this happened, and then you got some niggas being on some protect my daughter, not knowing what the fuck she got going on behind the scenes.
Right.
Bro, that
Oh
shit.
man, facts. You speaking facts. Yo, let's read some of these comments real quick, man. Jay Knight said for 40 years, single mothers have led the household in the US of A, which is true. Since the 60s, ever since they got child support and the American deal gave black women the right to get unemployment. I mean, not unemployment, but welfare and all that shit. They were able to kick the black man out for that, and then they sent all the black men to Vietnam to go fight in that war. Then it says women wear their body counts and life experiences. That's why they wear makeup and use filters.
He said older men. Ooh, older men must not be worth anything either. I think we need to go back to the topic now. Before we close, we're gonna close back on the topic. The topic is being 30 years old with no kids is not a flex. We're not saying that a woman that an older man don't have that. That's not true, because you see all the older guys in Hollywood. Older men are still getting leading roles. You don't see too many older women getting leading roles. Like once they beauty kind of phase, nobody want to see her old ass. Like I was watching a video with Halle Berry. She didn't even look like Halle Berry. She looked like Halle Scary.
Yeah, like you know what? Like her hair doesn't have that fluffiness to it like it used to, or that luster. And
And
then
her
her
skin.
skin is not even the same. She just look a little beat. She just look a little tired, right?
Let me tell you something. To you older ladies, let me tell you something. I'm a handsome young man. Y'all see me. Y'all see me. Y'all know what it is. Y'all be in and out my inbox. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Skin glow. I'm good. I be looking at y'all women. You know, you can tell how old a woman is. Look at her hands. They be wrinkled as hell. More wrinkled than mine.
Yeah, the hands, the feet.
And they
You
neck.
look for the what's
Yeah.
that? The crows,
Yeah.
jowls.
Even the bad ones. I'm talking about the bad ones. Even the sexy older women, they hands wrinkled. They
Right.
necks wrinkled. They elbows
Right.
be wrinkled. Now,
Right.
the average looking old motherfuckers, oh, y'all terrible. Y'all got the bulldog lines going from your nose to your face. You got all kind of bumps coming from your face because of makeup. Like y'all do not look good like that. I'm just being real. Like yeah, some of y'all weren't even blessed with the gift of beauty. And as y'all get older, y'all age like some bread.
You know what? Well, all right. To be fair to women, I'll say this much. Because, of the fact that we live in this fake world that we live in, we're in the metaverse now. A woman could put on filters, they could put on these hair weaves, they could put on all this makeup and stuff, right? The truth is that, not all women are not that beautiful. Like, even the fine ones, even the ones that you see on TV, are probably not as hot when they take off the makeup. You feel me? Not many people could actually be said to be quote unquote actually beautiful, like, or actually like gorgeous or like fine. Like, sometimes some of y'all women just look kind of good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all might clean up real well. But, the truth is that, you know, y'all don't necessarily have to even be fine. We look for certain things like, your skin to be in order and stuff like that. But the truth is, ladies, y'all should just go ahead and get with somebody when y'all young, or y'all should just, get a man within your needs. I mean, within your means. Like, that's what it is. The
Man,
problem is that they think their stock is more than it's
right.
really worth.
They think they're better than average men. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. The only reason why we have these conversations, we wouldn't even be having these conversations if women collectively didn't believe that they was too good for a certain type of guy, because, like you said, they inflated their own stock.
All right.
Janet said this, and she's defending. She's coming from a defensive place. She says that's because you're messing with 21 and 30-year-olds. You talk shit about older women, but you haven't met the right. And listen, let me tell you something. Unless I have something sentimental with a woman, I don't want no old ass motherfucking woman that somebody else then molded and gave her stretch marks, gave her motherfucking trauma, gave her goddamn trust issues, gave her all these experiences before I did. Unless it's sentimental value, unless that person had done something in my life and it strike me where I just want to take on it personally, just because that's something I want to do and negate all my other options. Ain't nobody in their right mind that has options in this world is going after some old ass woman. Most of y'all don't even want kids. You're not even in the business of reproduction and cloning me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Y'all, most of y'all can't even have kids by then, anyway. But it's funny you mentioned that, because I would say, shit, I don't know. I'm in my 40s now, so I would say in my mid 30s, I was dealing with an older chick. Like, let's just say this much: this chick was I mean, body wise, she was like everything. All right, I mean, her face is alright, but you could kind of tell she was a little older in the face. Like, you could kind of tell her age in her face. But as far as body was banging. And she basically, I would say her son was probably my age, right?
Yeah.
Right. But long story short, as I was dealing with the chick, I wasn't trying to be with her. And that was the thing that was the problem with me and her, is that she didn't understand that low. Look, I was like, hey, I don't mind having a good time with you. Like, yo, we could hang out, you know what I'm saying? We could have fun, we could have, relations and stuff. But yo, I ain't really, like, yo, I'm trying to be a free man. Like, I'm still trying to do my thing. You feel? I'm trying to have, like, I was never really monogamous anyway. So it's just like, yo, like, you gotta let me, like, do my thing, and, and I just kind of feel like, okay, what do we really have in common? Like, okay, let's just say I do want to have a kid. Like, what are we gonna do? And, you know what I'm saying? Like, as good as she looked, like, I had to say this, but the age factor is a problem. Like, it's like, where do we go from here other than having sex and having a good time? Nowhere.
A sex toy. That's all she is. She's just a sex toy with an older.
And you know what I asked her? You know what I asked her too? Because straight up too, because I seen pictures of her back in the day, and she looked really good then. And you know I asked her too, because she really wanted to kind of like be with me. I'm like, this is what I said to her. See, here's the thing. I know why, but this is my response to her. I said, you have a pretty good looking body. I've seen dudes holler at her when we was like, in certain spots. You feel me? People holler at her. But this is what I said. You had all this time. Why you ain't settled down with nobody? I asked her that. This is before I became red pill or anything. I asked her this, like, just curiosity. I'm just like, in my 30s, I'm like, yo, like, you're not a bad looking chick. Why you ain't already been with somebody already? You had all this fucking time. Like, you must have been looking good since you're 15. And like, you're old enough to be my mother. Why haven't you, like, settled down with nobody by now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because why? Because they have this self-inflated, like, look, when they look in the mirror, they do see the wrinkles and all that stuff and the age, but in their heart, they still see that 16-year-old. They still see that girl who was fly, because they still get the sexual attraction. So they still think they still got it when they don't.
Yikes. And we're going to end gonna end tonight on that note right there, boy. And we got
Haha.
part two this one, Callie.
Right. And I'll just say this one last message from Jay Knight because it's important. He said, estrogen, testosterone, sorry, women, God bless us to be leaders and providers. He bless y'all to help, to be our helpmeet. And that's facts. And he says, women who dating past her prime can't expect more in her decline. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you can have, men are going to want to have fun with you, but as far as like settling down with you, unfortunately, you're not an option. It is what it is.
And if you
Sorry,
are,
but not sorry.
you better be humble. If you're in a situation where you caught the attention of somebody, and that if you caught the attention of somebody that other somebodies want, man, be humble. Be humble. Because now, being fine ain't good enough. You gotta have some intangibles. You gotta be able to be cooperative. You gotta be soft. If you ain't got tools, you might catch the fish. You might catch it on the hook, but you ain't gonna be able to reel it in the boat. So,
And you know what's crazy? You would think that women who's older now, you would think in their older years, like in the 40s and stuff like that, you would think that they'll just go date a dude who's like 55 or 60. Like a dude who's 65, 55 or 60. I mean, even though if he has enough money, he can still go get a chick from the junior college. He may opt, to still, still talk to her. You feel me? Because, to a 65-year-old man, 40-year-old chick is still kind of young.
but with that, you gotta be careful with that too, because women in their 40s are really stuck in their ways, man. That's a lot of time.
Well, here's the thing. That might be true for me and you, but we do know that there are some guys who, willing to be, to make them an honest woman,
I remember,
maybe a simp or something like that. But hey, it's better for them to be with somebody than to nobody. But they just gotta humble themselves and stick with that dude.
if you can help fulfill the mission that he's trying to do, whether that's have kids, whether that's build a family, or whether that's build something or whatever, because it's about building, and you got the right spirit. I mean, it shouldn't be a thing. At the end of the day, I think that a lot of people get caught up on people's ego and self-inflated views. Like you said, it's 9 o'clock, so we're gonna try to get up out of here. I'm gonna sign off here, you sign off, and we'll just tap in. This is your boy Dontre. You know where you can follow me at, Dontre the Misfit, on YouTube, and also on TikTok, and also right here on Facebook.
No doubt, no doubt. And thanks for having me, y'all. I'm Cali West. Y'all can reach me on YouTube in Cali West, Miami. I'll be kicking facts about, current events and shit that, pertain really about relationships and their dynamics with a woman. Shout out to my boy Jay Knight. So like I said, you can reach me on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram under the same name, Cali West, Miami. I'm all there. I'm everywhere on the metasphere. You dig?
And thank you, Callie, man, for tapping in and just adding dialogue to this conversation. You definitely made the conversation a lot more interesting than I could do by myself.
Oh man, well I appreciate you having me on, man. It's always a pleasure, my brother.
All day, and we need to talk. We can talk outside and figure out what we're gonna do, man. And yeah, I need to come visit your show as well. I think that'd be really cool.
All right, well you know what? You just hit me up. You're on the line, dog. I ain't too hard to find.
Thank you, bro. Have a good
All
night,
right, bro.
everybody that tapped in.
Peace.